fixed. Mel Gibson's dad was 92 and he was in a wheelchair, and now he's 100 and he's walking around. Like
What's the issue with stem cell situation in America? Because I don't hear too much. The last time, and I'm not probably as knowledgeable as you are, but wasn't Christopher Reeve trying to promote more stem cell research?
I'm sure he was. Yeah, he had that spinal cord injury from a horse accident. He was doing those horse jumps. Yeah.
South Park thing, remember?
I don't remember.
You just took it to the next level.
They're like eating dead babies to like get the stem cells. Like 12 years old.
As soon as you said South Park, I was like, this is going to take a bad turn.
They go bad.
Yeah. Remember that episode about rape on South Park?
They don't give a fuck. They are the best.
They give a shit.
No, they're also pushing the boundaries. Like
Unfiltered.
They're the ones out there that are promoting like ridiculous, preposterous comedy that's completely offensive but brilliant.
That's one of the things that when we were doing the Chappelle show, one of the things I appreciate more than anything about that show was how it brought people of all races, all backgrounds together to do the thing that we all should have in common, and that's to laugh. And also to not push the button, but touch on racial stuff without having an angry undertone. And that's what's so fucked up about America now. Whenever you talk about race, it feels like one side, somebody has to be tense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's never like a comfortable state. It's never like, and I know things are intense, but we have to be able to laugh first. Once you get people to laugh, you can talk about whatever you want. And then even if a person is not in agreement or have the same thoughts, at the end of the day, you should be able to respect that person. And I think those same people should be able to share a laugh.
Yeah, and there was a fun, silly, non-aggressive quality to the way you guys put together sketches that got the point across, and everybody laughed.
Everybody laughed. And when I Joe to this day, when I travel, when I do my audiences, it's interesting because, of course, you would think that I'm going to draw a certain audience because I'm black, which I am and I do. But it's weird. I could go to places and it's straight up like Dave called them the muddy boot motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like the muddy boot motherfuckers, the muddy boots, they got John Deere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know all that elk shit you talking about. Yeah. You know, them John Deerers know all that shit. Deeres. They probably call it right now and say, no, Joe, I think you got that wrong. You got to cut the heart from the ends. You know you got to go left to right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I notice I have those people, and then I have hood people. But it's just when you can look out, and this is what that show did, when you can look out in the audience and you say, you have all of America there.
It was the best sketch comedy show in the history of television, I think. I think In Living Color is very, very, very overlooked. People forget how goddamn groundbreaking.
It was right, and both of them, like, it's wherever I go, people they always bring it up. It was a big point in my career. But I was like, I don't know if it happens every 10 years, every 15 years, it comes a time where the audience wants something different.
Yeah.
They sick shit watered down.
Yeah.
Same way when In Living Color, same way when Def Comedy Jam came out. You know, you didn't see a lot of black stand-ups on TV, but they had this underground circuit that was bubbling, and it was the right time. When they pulled that, it was the right time. In Living Color comes around, it's the right time.
Yeah.
The Dave Chappelle show comes around, it's the right time. The Richard Pryor show, even though that only lasted 3 or 4 episodes, it was the right time, and it caught on at the right time.
Yeah. In terms of like groundbreaking sketch comedy shows, though, like that KKK bit where he had the
Bruh,
blind.
Let me tell you something. Do you understand? In the history of sketch, nobody has premiered a sketch show and came off so hardcore the first night.
As hard as it comes.
When they ended that shit, when we asked why. Why, after all these years, would you so? It was like, because she's a nigger lover. I was like, that was one of them joints. I'm like, wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. I knew from that moment that this show was going to be on the next level of shows.
Well, he was free.
It was so many, when we did, funny thing, a lot of things I was a warm-up comedian for a Chappelle show. So whenever you saw a Chappelle show episode, and if you notice that whenever I came on screen, and I'm not being cocky, people would go nuts. They'd be like, oh shit, and the reason was because I was a guy that warned the audience before Dave came out.
Oh, okay.
So I knew if I go gut the room out at the beginning, nobody knew who I was or anything. If I ripped that at the beginning and then when they see me on the screen, it's gonna be big.
Of course, yeah.
And that show, man, it was just a lot of things happened on that show. People like the Rick James sketch. The day we played that during the wraparounds, man, that shit hit so hard. I was like, this shit is fucking
Crazy.
retarded.
Crazy.
The funny thing people don't know is that Comedy Central did not like that sketch. Comedy Central, here's funny. Comedy Central didn't like the sketch, and Comedy Central didn't think Charlie Murphy was funny in it. And we ran that shit just to let you know the direction people think. I watched that shit 6 times, and every time you heard Dave say, "I'm Rick James, bitch," it was guts, son. It was guts, son. Yo, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Blow! When's the last time you had a sketch was getting kids suspended in school?
Right.
People was going to school to their teachers. What did 5 fingers say? Pop, I'm Rick James, bitch. All right, Tommy, you suspended for a week. You and Dave Chappelle go to the fucking timeout room.
It's one of the most iconic sketches of all time. How wrong was Comedy Central? I mean, not just a little wrong.
All
the way wrong.
All the way wrong.
Like almost like suicidal.
It was like, But then it goes to show, you know how you have a vision with something. You see it.
Yeah.
Everybody may not see it.
Well, that's the problem with working with executives too, right? It's like their vision's different than your vision. They like to shape you in a certain way. And and I know Dave ran into problems with them wanting them to change language so they could get more sponsors.
Yeah, I think that wasn't an issue. And to be quite honest, I don't know exactly what happened. Everything is speculation.
You never talked to him about it?
Never talked to him about it because the reason why I never talked to him about it, because I didn't need to talk to him about it. You know what I'm saying? That show was great for me. It was a great platform for me. And then it was more important, my friendship and how he felt away from that was more important than, so why'd you leave?
Right.
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, I'm like, as long as you're okay. Because this could be scary for anybody. One of your closest friends, somebody you work with, all of a sudden just goes to another country, you don't hear from him,
Yeah.
But when I first saw him after that, like, I was excited and I was just like, whatever it was, we had a moment, we made history, and people go on to do other things and just keep it moving.
Well,
but that show was really, people always say, Donnell, if it wasn't for the Chappelle show, this and that, Chappelle show gave me a platform for people to see what I've been doing for years. And you see talents in the club now. You see a motherfucker that's good as shit. But will they get the right platform for the world to see him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of separate. You see one person go from one level to the next level. Who has the right platform to showcase their talent? And that show did that for me. And with that said, I gave that show everything. Every time I had a second on camera, every time, like if you look at 2.5 years on that show, if you had an editor break down how many times I spoke, it would probably be a total of 4 minutes. I'll get a word here, I get a phrase here, but I told myself, whenever they turn that motherfucking camera on, I'm going for it. Like even if I'm not talking, I'm going to make my body so expressive that your eyeball draws to. I remember Neil told me one time, he said, because I always get a mic, because I'll come up with a line or something to throw in. And we were doing a Rick James sketch, and I didn't have a mic. I was like, yo, sound. And Neil said, you're not going to get a mic, bro. I said, I might say something. He was like, you're not going to say anything. I was like, fuck. So I told myself, when he smacks this motherfucker, because if you look at that scene, when he smacks him, I said, what the I was like a Watch the Square Park mime. I pushed that. I said, what the fuck? I made my face. He didn't give me a mic, but I said, what the fuck with my face. And I always, as people always ask me about this show, and as be young actors and stuff like that, talk to me, what do you need to do? I was like, with anything, the best thing to do is figure out a way to get on a set. You get on a set, you do background, you learn, you get opportunities. You got to be around it. You got to get a skill set. But when it's time to show up, you got to show up. You have to show up. Motherfuckers talk a lot of shit. I want to do this out there, and then when they say action, motherfuckers ain't ready to show up.